Hey you guys, it's me Kianna coming at you today, and I'm coming at you. Just wanted to sit and talk with my girls about my hair journey and the fact that the majority of you are just learning that I am actually natural. Up underneath all those wigs, yes, I am natural, and I'm not bald headed. My sides and edges are not ate out, and nor is my hairline halfway back in my head. All of the above is not the case with me, as you can see. Yeah, but that's some misconceptions of people or women that wear wigs and things like that. It's just for me. It's fun. It's a great way to switch up my style. I've never been a woman that wears the same thing over and over and over again. Nor have I ever been a woman that was plain Jane. So wigs allow me to up my game and switch up my styles and all of that good stuff. Stop it. So that's why I wear wigs. Um, and I only can speak for myself. Um, but even though I am natural and I have been for about 7 to 8 months, I am not, nor will I ever be, what many have deemed or called some the hair Nazis, natural hair Nazis. People that those are people that have been labeled that because they um, don't, like anyone that wears, wigs or anything that's artificial in their head. They are either, some of them are pro-black to the 10th power. Some of them, they're very, very, very concerned about others and what they do to their scalp and their head and their bodies, which is quite strange for me. But being that I know how women is, I kind of expect it. But I will never, ever be one of those people. I will continue to wear wigs on and off. I do not wear my natural hair as I'm wearing today all the time. But I do enjoy doing so whenever I feel like it or whenever I'm in the mood. Um, One misconception about natural hair is that it's easy. Some people even say natural hair girls, they're lazy. They don't want to do their own hair, so therefore that's why they go natural. And that is completely not the case. I must admit, a long time ago, I used to think that. I used to think, oh, they're cheap. They, don't want to buy hair, or they can't afford hair. Um, or either they, are so plain Jane, and I had all these misconceptions before, so I know that these misconceptions are out there, okay, because I've had them myself. However, in going natural myself, I know that it's so far from the case. For one, natural hair takes a lot of time if, and I repeat, if you want your hair to be healthy, strong, and to continue to grow. Now, sure, you can have natural hair and do nothing to it and it mats up into one big, huge dreadlock. You can do that. In fact, I've known people to do that. But that doesn't take any time, of course. But if you want to be the polar opposite of that, natural hair is going to take some time, because when I wear wigs, I can just take it off and then tie my hair down. But when I want to actually rock and style my natural hair, it's going to be at times where I have to spend 15-20 minutes a night just twisting my hair up, making sure I oil and moisturize it, and putting tying it down or whatever. So, and also sometimes even rolling it. Which, speaking of rolling it, I used my um, rollers, my rod rollers, for this style that I have today. I don't know if you guys can see it. but that's what I use for the style that I have on today. Let me put my glass down for a second. But yeah, so that is the back. I know you probably can't see it too much because of the I know you probably can't see it too much because of the um, red, my beautiful red pillows in the back. Um, but yeah, the other thing I wanted to share with you guys is that when you are serious about being natural, or you are transitioning with a purpose, whatever your real purpose is for transitioning from relaxer to natural hair, you get to know and learn a lot about yourself. I learned a lot about myself as a black woman through the process of me becoming natural hair. A lot of people think, how is that? Like, how can hair have that much power over you? And it's funny because I thought that for so long. Um, in fact, it was so powerless that I could just buy it and put it on and take it off. That's how much power it had, which was none, over my life. But when I became, or while I was becoming natural, I started learning a lot about myself, um, how we are programmed. In the year 2014, we are programmed to, you know, to think natural hair or kinky hair, or even what some would say nappy hair, is ugly. We are programmed to think that um, natural hair is the lazy route. We are programmed to think that um, natural hair cannot be sexy. We are programmed to think that there is only one way of beauty, and that is the European standards. And we think we're not programmed. And you can, I was one of those people that I was like, no way am I programmed. You don't realize how programmed you actually are until you come up off of being a person that puts chemicals and relaxers and stuff in your head. When you transition, you're going to look in the mirror and you're going to see what you really think about yourself. How much power uh, things that's programmed and already etched in our DNA has over us. Um, how we have allowed society to dictate what black beauty is. And I say black beauty because we have to understand that we are different, we are unique, and it's things that come along with being black, proud, and loving oneself. And guess what? What goes along with that is so many things, but one of the things is embracing what we naturally look like. Now, as I sit here with my natural hair and my eyeshadow on my eyes, um, I am not hiding who I really am, even though I choose to wear eyeshadow on my eyes. It's just simply an enhancer. And that's what I saw hair as, an enhancer, before I became natural. I just considered it an accessory, and I just considered it, just something to just do, like have extra or some oomph to it. That's what I thought. And I still wear wigs, and I still will continue to wear wigs. But I have learned so much about myself in becoming natural and looking in the mirror, and at times, believe it or not, at times looking at my natural hair and the natural state of it, and saying that, in my head I'm saying that, ew, this is ridiculous, this is ugly, this is hideous, I look like Celie from The Color Purple. And these are the things that I actually said to myself. As much high self-esteem as I have, I actually said these things to myself. And it took time to actually realize, why was I saying this? Why did, just because my hair changed, or I went back to the real me, and the unprocessed me, why would I think that that is not beautiful? And I wanted to know, and I thought about who told me that. And I know I didn't come from a mom that told me that, but then again, I also came from a mom that subliminally told me that because she put a relaxer in my head at a very young age. Why? Maybe it was because, relaxed hair is more manageable. Maybe it's because my mom was a working mom, and it was easier for her to do my hair. Um, because I know how much time you have to invest in making natural hair stay healthy and strong. Maybe it's because it was time consuming for her. Maybe it's because that's what she knew and that's what was done to her. Maybe it's because she thought that quote unquote headed children were not attractive, or that would make me less attractive if I wore my hair in a natural state. So even when we don't say these things to our children, our actions speak louder than words. Give you an example. That's why I don't curse like a sailor and say all kinds of filthy things out my mouth. Why? Because I know that my children um, are listening. Whether it's in my everyday life or even on a video, my children are at the age where they can get on the computer and listen to my videos, and also their friends can. And I just don't want to be a bad example in that way to my children. So I make sure that I am mindful of my actions and making sure my actions line up with my teachings. So I just, in becoming natural, like I said, I had to go back and learn and really try to, um, dissect, where did I learn this from? And I can remember I wasn't one of the little girls, of course, because as I stated before, my hair was relaxed at a very young age. So I could remember other children being teased because their hair was quote unquote nappy. Um, and they quote unquote look like buckwheat and things like that. I can remember other children being called these things. And again, I don't think anybody uh, probably sat down and said these things to these children as far as adults. But what I do think is that um, we were taught through their actions, their meaning our parents and our adults around us, surrounding us. We were taught through their actions that that is not attractive, that being natural. So you we think that we're not programmed, that we're not so weak that uh, things can be, subliminally like forced in our head, and it sticks like glue. We think that we're above that, that that can't happen. But the reality is that it does happen. You guys know I've always said be careful what you hang around and what you partake in and the crowd that you um, entertain. Why do I always say that? And I've always said that is because even though we think we're strong, that's what some people say. Well, I'm not so weak that I'll do everything that people do around me. It's not about that. It's about, you don't realize that our brain and our spirit is absorbing the things that we hear, absorbing the things that we see. And even though we think that we're quote unquote so strong that we won't do the things that others do, your spirit is absorbing that. So even though we think that we won't, our surroundings or society doesn't make us think that, oh, black is not beautiful and black in its natural state is not beautiful. We have absorbed that. Again, even if it's not through uh, people sitting down and saying it verbally to us, it's programmed in our heads from seeing all the commercials with the woman, you know, swinging her hair and it's just swaying in the wind, bone straight. Um, we see it when, and we're programmed when we see a woman that the person that's played the maid on the shows, or the ugly girl on certain shows was always a black nappy headed um, girl, female. So natural hair, it it really can be an addition, or it can really be a huge or major factor in learning yourself and going deep within yourself and redefining beauty for yourself. And some days I still look at my hair when it's not acting right and I say, I don't like this, or ew, things like that. I still catch myself saying those things. Um, and I know now that it's because I was programmed to think so. It's funny how things can be passed on generation after generation after generation. And to even go back to slavery for a moment, and the Willie Lynch syndrome and theory. I mean, um, slave owners were very um, cunning. They were very strategic, and they were smart in a sense that they looked beyond the generation that they were in. They wanted to lay the foundation down to affect not only the generation they were in, but for generations to come. And it's a whole bunch of um, things we could talk about concerning that. But one of them, yes, I believe, has been um, us as black women not fully embracing who we are naturally in its natural state. And I'm not saying that wearing wigs is bad and I will never put a wig on, because I repeat, and I repeated it already and I'll repeat again, I will continue to wear my wigs at times. Um, but I want to be okay with what's underneath of the wig. And that's where the growth comes. That's where the learning comes. And that's where the magical moment comes in the transitioning from, relaxed to natural, or transitioning, I should say, back to. So it's quite interesting, and it can really evoke um, a lot of uh, feelings that you never knew you even had. Um, and I am enjoying the whole process because I believe that this is helping me in my growth, in my spiritual growth, and my growth of learning who I am even more, in my growth of moving forward, uh, dealing with pain, previous pain, dealing with all kinds of emotions that I have smothered. I believe that this is being beneficial to me in all of those areas. And that is a great surprise because I never knew that becoming natural would help me in such a way. Of course, I'm using other tools besides that, but this is something that is helping me. And again, this is one of the reasons why I'm enjoying it so I thank you for allowing me to take up 20 minutes of your time, you guys. I thank you for allowing me to share, and hopefully you find value in that of which I do. Please take time to thumbs up this video and comment at the bottom as well. And I will talk to you guys later. I'm wishing you a happy and blessed holiday, and see you in the next video. Be blessed.